we've all seen it. We've all seen it,
Mm.
and that is, of course, perhaps we've even done it. That's doing the right thing for the wrong reason.
Yeah.
Right? So the famous example would be the wealthy businessman
Yeah.
who makes a very generous donation to a charity.
Mm.
He appears in all the media surrounding it, taking the photos and all that.
Mm.
And then you find out that he had to let the money go for tax purposes. If he
Yeah.
didn't give the money away, then he'd get taxed.
Mm.
He'd be on a different tax bracket.
Yes.
So, I mean, he did the right thing by giving it to a charity, but he did it for the wrong reasons. He was thinking about himself. That basically is what the
Yeah.
is doing or perhaps volunteering for a charity to help
Mm.
out.
Yes.
When really your main purpose is to make your curriculum look nice when you go to that job interview that you have been eyeing up for some time.
Well, yeah.
You need to make yourself look, without lying, you need to make yourself look, you know.
Well, suitable, adequate. Yes.
So the British government is no different. And recently its anti-sleaze team got into high gear to try and clean up all the sleaze left behind by and unruly politicians. Let's just be
Yeah.
polite about it.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Yes.
So we know about the close for Freedia Starmer. Thanks for Daily Mail for that one.
Yeah.
And his wife,
Of course. Yes.
and some of the top brass at the Commons.
Mm.
The parties in Ibiza and layovers in millionaires' mansions for long weekends. Taylor Swift tickets alongside Sabrina Carpenter tickets for Rachel from Accounts.
Well.
Won't be sexist. I'll tell you what, Rach. Being a being a if being a if being Rachel from Accounts is too hot for you, you should get back into the kitchen. It's safer there. Don't try and drive the economy. Try and drive an oven and hob. There you are.
Yes. Yeah. I know. I know why you said that. I know exactly why you said that.
And so it was so rife that Danielle Greenberg,
Mm.
the Sleaze Committee is called the Parliamentary Commissioner for Standards,
All right.
decided to call out the freeloaders, and he named and shamed them.
Mm.
Starmer, Reeves, and the Ginger Growler for going a little bit too far. Thank you for the guy from Talk Radio for that one.
Yes. Okay. Right.
It must be said that parliamentary standards must be set at a very low bar for Mr. Greenberg to only step in now. But hey, at least he's doing the right thing. Right?
Right.
Stamp it out. And the reason? One could be forgiven in thinking that finally somebody in the government had the conscience to reach out to the politicians for them to see the light and become more honest, trustworthy, an upstanding person that they could be. But no, the reason he gave is that they might be painting a very bad picture for their electorate if they knew what they were doing. So that was the bad part.
Right.
Right?
Okay.
It's the wrong reason. And now that the heat is down just a little bit with Raina and her dealings with the Sun's trust, Starmer wants to bring her back into the fold so she can carry on where she left off. So much for standards.
Interesting
And
concept. Yeah.
and just to put the top hat on all of that,
Yeah.
what is going on behind closed doors, away from the public? And after Reeves lied on a curriculum to get a job, as did another MP, Jonathan Reynolds, who claimed he was a lawyer when he wasn't, which is highly illegal.
Yes.
And so far, as I know, nothing was done about it.
Mm.
He's still the UK's business secretary. So there you are. And not forgetting Reeves not paying for her license to rent a property. It has been revealed after former Labour Transport Secretary Louise Haigh had to resign because she'd been hiding a conviction of fraud in the courts in 2014. She
Right.
was caught in fraud. She's a fraudster. She's a criminal.
Oh, yes.
She's been hiding. Now, they have this department has said that previous convictions of cabinet ministers will not be disclosed. From now on, any previous convictions of any cabinet ministers will never be disclosed. Which can only mean there must be quite a few. You know, now I'm all for paying for your crime, and then you get a clean
Yeah.
sheet. I
Rehabilitation.
mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
I've done. I work for a charity called NACRO,
Mm.
National Association for the Care and Resettlement of Offenders. I
Yeah.
was a manager there on a side.
Mm.
So, it's all for giving people the second chance.
Yeah.
But in Haig's case, she kept her deception going
Mm.
by not declaring that she had the conviction. So she deceived people to commit the
Mm.
fraud,
Yeah.
and she kept the deception going
Mm.
after she was convicted to hide the fact that she'd been convicted.
Yeah.
The rules are that all convictions must be declared to the government watchdog. So there must be quite a few, like I said. I wonder what unbiased watchdog this would be.
Yeah.
And if you think your government is made up of good eggs,
Yeah.
you may need to look again and reevaluate your opinion.
Yeah.
It could very well be that the government is rotten to the core of ex-cons.
Oh dear. Okay.
There you are.
Right. Okay. Well, um, it's always interesting to hear these standards. I remember this going through some years ago. History seems to repeat itself in, in shorter and shorter cycles now with regards to politicians being up to no good. Um, I do honestly believe there's a lot of people who are probably in government circles, not necessarily the higher ranks and all that, have had enough of what Starmer's been up to and everything else, and then telling the rest of the population, I'm afraid you've got to starve temporarily while we sort the economy out, etc., etc., etc. I think I'm going to be honest here. I do think that the government is in a very, very weak position uh, in stature. When I mean in stature, yeah, in standards. We look at them, they're either so arrogant that they don't care, or they know that there are problems around. I was going to say, I think I've seen the light. I've got a bit of a problem. I'm by a window where the light keeps coming in. When I set it up, it was nice and cloudy.
I
Um,
illuminated you.
yeah, yeah. So apologies to the viewers on that one. Um, but it is a it's a sad state of affairs, and yeah, when I'm listening here, I mean, happen to live in a country which has a very bad, not a very good reputation for its politicians. I honestly believe now I originate from a country which are so blatant about it, it's unreal.
Man, we're one step behind Ukraine.
Hmm. Well, I've not. I would argue that we're probably ahead of Ukraine because the Ukrainians are
No,
much.
because they're getting the money we aren't.
Well, yeah, yes. I mean, yeah. Well, sorry, I thought you meant in actual deviousness.
Yes,
Um,
of course I
yeah,
am.
yeah. Um, I am. Yes, the reason I'm sitting here so calmly is I'm not letting myself get annoyed over it all. To be quite honest. Um,
You've been all those tranquilizers again, haven't you?
oh yeah, yeah. I need them, man. Um, well, I think half the population is probably thinking about it that way at the moment. How do you stay calm when you've got these leaders? Um, it, it it's unimaginable. I mean, it's one thing if having, yes, okay, if you've got legitimately wealthy leaders, who are legitimately wealthy, be it by family wealth from traditional swings, or they've done well in life and been there. That's one thing. At least they're not corrupt. Well, if you understand what I mean by corrupt, yeah. But this
Well,
lot,
you can't say that now anymore.
no.
I mean, this Lady Haig, she is.
Well, again, that's what they just do. They just do. They struggle much, but yeah, they just shrug. They don't care. Um, they
Hey,
claim to be for the ordinary people. If you and I got caught doing what they do, yeah, we'd be bunged inside, come out with a conviction. We'd have to show
I'd
our
be
future
taken.
employees. Yeah,
I'd be taken to the highest hill and I would be crucified, sir.
yeah. Well, yeah. So be it. Yeah, but it's
Uh,
a yeah. Nobody ever seems to be called to account at that level. I mean,
Until, until recently, Mark, I thought that if you wanted to become an MP, you had to have a clean slate, right?
mm-hmm.
In terms of convictions. Um, and I'm not talking about parking tickets or,
Yeah, yeah,
silly things.
yeah.
But I mean, I mean, fraud. I mean, that just, just fraud. Come on, man.
Well, yeah. I mean, I keep saying this before I was able to move to Brazil or even get a visa to visit, but move to Brazil. I had to prove I was of good character. I had to
There you
get
go.
get a criminal record from the UK. Um, and and then recently, a few years ago, I was back in the UK. I was trying to find some work, contract work, and funny enough, talking about prisons, I applied for a job to work in a prison, and because I've been in Brazil, I couldn't prove where I'd been
Hmm.
for a period of time. Yeah, I've been interviewed, and the guy said, "Well, there's a bit of a gap here. Where have you been?" I said, "Well, I've been, in Brazil." He said, "Can you prove it?" I said, "No," and he couldn't stop laughing. So I knew kind of at that point that the interview was over, as it were. Um, yeah, because yeah, to do anything in public life, yeah, where you could be susceptible to. I mean, there is. I think when you apply for a job in major contractors now, are you related to I think it's a vulnerable person or something like this, somebody that could be susceptible to bribery. Yeah. And it's a question that's directly asked now on job applications. Yeah. Which means, could you be could you be hauled in, or members of your family be hauled in on some sort of issue? Um okay. I mean, years ago they set up things in businesses called compliance departments. And the idea of the compliance department was to check everything, check that if you got a bottle of wine for Christmas, theoretically or officially, you were meant to declare it. Yeah. Or if you were taken out for a meal by a client.
Yeah, they do have this in the House of Lords where it's up to £200 you can receive gifts, but you declare them on a sheet of paper.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Well, that's what,
what Starmer et al. were receiving was a little bit OTT,
yeah.
which is why this guy stepped in, you know, 1 year later and said, tone it down because the public are getting a bit shirty. Yeah, you know, for the wrong reason, doing the right thing, but for the wrong reason, and that's the whole
Yeah,
premise of this.
yeah.
They're doing the right thing, but for the wrong reason, and it's just to show you how dirty the laundry is in in Starmer's and his colleagues' closet are.
Well, they're all got. I mean, I personally think they're all on the way out, but um,
Well, it could be like they're trying to do a supermarket dash and get as much as they can before they leave. Yeah.
well, it's yeah, but I want them to be arrested at the door, quite literally. I think there's an awful lot of questions to be answered. Um, it does all seem to be suppressed all the time. Now, maybe that this standards person coming forward, it could be one of two things. Either it's now in the public domain, oh, sorry, they couldn't get a fair trial, or he's had enough and he's asking all the right questions for them to be investigated. Um,
He isn't asking them any to do. He's just saying, tone it down, people. The people
mm,
are beginning. You're not seen in a good light by the public.
well,
That was his message.
mm,
The second part of what I was telling you about was
yeah,
the convictions,
yeah,
and that this standards office
mm,
is saying that we're not going to let anybody know
yeah.
what if any member of if every member of parliament has any convictions.
Well,
That is hiding. That is hiding
that
what
that's
because if somebody wanted to know if
yeah.
I've got any convictions, they do a
Yeah.
check.
Well, that's what I mean. That's why I applied for work where I could be I could have been I had to well, I wouldn't have been able to prove where I'd been if I had any
These
convictions or not. Yeah,
these people in the Commons,
yeah.
they're supposed to be the creme de la creme.
Well, this is what I've always said about public life. I don't look for people in the entertainment industry or the sporting world to be my role models. I can respect them, admire them, but I don't expect them to be perfect. I mean, yeah, um, I've respected musicians who probably have had nosefulls of all sorts of stuff, maybe even being convicted of different things. And the same with actors. The people I always hold that should be showing me example are politicians and spiritual leaders. Yeah, and I literally mean that. Spiritual leaders. I mean priests, vicars, imams, etc., etc. Yeah, anyone that holds an office and professes some faith or preaches some faith to people. Yeah, they're the two classes of people I hold in high esteem. I'm not suggesting everyone's perfect. Everyone's susceptible to temptations of the flesh. Hey,
I limit it down to politicians, and only because the
well,
politicians are the ones that make the laws.
well, yeah, I do believe spiritual leaders should be. I mean, this is
Well,
a
because
personal view,
that's a philosophy. That's a
philosophical.
yeah, easy for you to say.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's always me who's stumbling over the words, given my profession. That's worrying, but yeah, it is a yeah. No, I do think spiritual leaders as well should be shoring up society. I'm talking about where I see society. Yeah, I'm possibly more sort of that way than you yourself are. You're more of a yeah paper guy. I do honestly believe that we should you should also have spiritual leaders being whiter than white. Um, yeah, to set an example to us all. And okay, politicians do the laws. Yeah, I mean they're the two people, and I've used that as example. I wouldn't go and because David Beckham. Well, David Beckham's actually quite a clean living, decent guy.
Has to be because he has to run fast.
Yeah, but
He needs to be. He needs to be.
yeah,
My body is my temple. When you're a sportsman,
yeah, but
literally, you
but
know,
he's retired now and he's now farming and he's doing good works. And okay, he's a multi-millionaire, but he's as you know, okay, Ronaldo to a point, and Cristiano Ronaldo, I think, is a model
yeah,
guy for young people.
yeah.
And some female athletes as well. And yeah, Miss Steffi Graf I always thought was quite a good example. So yeah, okay, then she's German, but yeah, but yeah, but it is a to me, yeah, politicians we have to hold at that higher level
Of course we do.
at all times. I mean, the fact now Starmer can go and get freebies and basically steal and not pay taxes with Angela Rayner and not pay taxes, etc. Yeah, hey, happy days for me. Well, if
Mm.
they can do it, I'm allowed to do it.